Hi everyone, hope you're all doing okay, locked in isolation and at home. Today just going to bring you a video from the Open Men's Board Final from state this year with Chris, Ben and Sharpie in it, and do a race analysis or a coaching breakdown of it, similar to what we did with Chucky's board, also in the process of doing one for the ski as well. Rather than doing all the text on there, that's really hard to get sort of right with the timing on the video and everything like that, and seeing whether you can read it. I thought we'd try a voiceover of the whole video and give the again a coaching analysis of what I look for, what other coaches look for when we watch the videos, what we see, areas we can pick up on. So with that in mind, none of it is meant to be negative. It's meant to be constructive. So when I'm looking at certain things, I'm seeing areas where we can improve on, and it might be the tiny little things, the one percenters. Obviously, to get in an open male board final, all three guys were going extremely fast. They're fit, and in reality, we probably could have had 5 or 6 paddlers in the final if things went our way. So, which would have been amazing to see. But we'll get started with it. Again, this is the first attempt at doing a voiceover, so don't be too rough on me. Be kind in your comments, but we'll see how we go. So our three guys are on the left of screen here, and one thing we've worked on a lot this year has been the start, the speed off the line, the jump off the line, and then running hard down to the water, and using that speed on the beach to transition into the water. So here our guys get a really good start, but I want to show you something, the importance of a tiny little thing here. In the circle there is Jay Finesse, so experienced guy, the current Australian board champion, puts his board down 1 or 2 steps too early, and the impact that has on his start is amazing. So as we go along, our three guys, so Chris, Ben, Sharpie, all get a great start. And you can see Jay at the back there. Our three guys are at the front, and Jay at the back there is spat right out the back, and that's all comes down to basically him putting the board down that 1 or 2 steps too early. Now, you know, being at that caliber, being at that level, he's able to get away with that and try and paddle himself back into a good position, but that won't work for everyone. So as we just stop it there, we're going to actually freeze frame it, and I'll rewind this in a second. But one thing we've also spoken about this year is, and this is irrelevant whether it's board, swim, ski or even surf boats, is trying to get a lock on the water. And imagine you pushing yourself past that point in the water. So if you watch Chris out in front here, in the next few strokes, he's going to really start to accelerate away. And in a second, I'll freeze it again, rewind, and we'll go back to that start of this whole start sequence, so the first 50 to 70 metres off the beach. And what we're really looking at, think of it, we've mentioned this a few times at training, think of it like grabbing the lane rope in backstroke at swimming, and you push yourself past that, that point in the water. And that applies to anything you do on the water is still the same. So if you look at Chris in the middle of that circle there, we've got Justin out in front, Ben, Sharpie, and then Will Budd will be at the bottom of the screen here. And you look at the different techniques, these are probably the easiest to pick up on. When you watch Chris, he gets a really good lock on the water on his hands on the catch, and he accelerates past this point. Justin does the same thing as well. Again, like grabbing the lane rope, and you push yourself past that point in the water and then release the water cleanly. Go back and slow this down to 50% speed. Again, you can see it probably a bit easier here, and a couple of really good examples of this. We've got Will Budd there, you can see the water flicking up out the back, and Sharpie here, the water flicking up out the back. As you go on, again, this is slow down to 50% speed, so as you see this, you see their boards not accelerate through the back end of the stroke, so they're losing speed. They're getting a good catch, a good lock on the water, but they're losing speed, and the board really isn't planing and accelerating, so they're not efficient on the water. And that's something to really look at whenever you look at these videos. You see how much efficiency is on the board or on the craft. Again, ski, swimming, boats, making sure that you're getting the most speed for the least amount of power. Now, If we look, rewind it back again and just go away from technique for a quick second and look at a little bit of race tactics. Chris is out in front on the right, we've got a pack forming on the left, and really the next sort of 5, 10, 15 strokes from Chris, had he kept that acceleration going, what most likely would have happened is that pack on the left would have started to drift over towards him, and they would have cut the people in the middle out. Instead, what you'll see in a second when the video cuts back is that pack on the left start to surge. Chris is going to come over and jump on their wash, but the problem is they've got the run, they've got the momentum, and now he's going to get caught too wide, so 2 paddlers wide from the leader. So he's got that second redhead paddler blocking him on the front lead wash, which means he's going to have to work a lot harder now to to keep on that wash and to keep it going. If we have a look a little bit further back, just again watch Ben and Sharpie at the back there. They're getting bounced around in the back water, and if you see their technique, again you'll see the back end of the stroke just slipping that little bit. Ben has a really good surge here, which brings him back up, but the run into the first can has to be set up. So Chris is now on the lead paddler. Ben is back in about 6th or 7th, and Sharpie's next to him. So everything now is being set up for the first turning can. So you're really, in a tactical sense, you're setting up for the first can when you're probably between 50 to 70 metres away from it. And you can see Chris starting to get blocked there by the other paddlers. When you're going around the cans, whether you have the inside run, the outside run, sometimes will just come down to chance where you've got through the break or where the pack has just formed around you, whether you're in your lead or behind or whatever. Sometimes it's out of your control, and sometimes you'll come down with a particular race plan based off the conditions on the day, whether it's a northeast wind, southeast wind. If we look at our guys coming up here, we've got Chris more of an outside run, Ben on that inside, and Sharpie just off his left. As a general rule, the old saying, whoever it's the third can in the lead has got first crack at the runs. One thing to look at here, and you'll see a couple of guys pick up on it there, often in major events, major races, you'll get some runners coming off the camera boat or the jet ski that they're doing filming off. If you're out in front, you've got first dibs at those runners. You see on that inside run there, the guy on the left take advantage of that swell. Obviously, you've always got to try and pick your line to the beach. One thing that is really critical, and that our guys have fortunately done really well, and at the turn they were sort of back a little bit, and they all come home exceptionally strong. I know Chris is a little bit out of shot here, but one thing our guys do really well, and you can see here Justin, he's going to milk this runner for as long as he possibly can. Then that sets him up for this next little wave. Now Ben's just running along the top of that. This sets Justin up for that wave that Chris is just about to miss. He's going to come into screen now, and you see him just not get over it. If we freeze that there, you can see just in front of Chris's nose the back of the swell in front. Remember, whenever you drop off a wave, there is always a little follow-up shoot behind it that you can get a run off. Particularly hard on a board to get that run off the back of the wave in front. On a ski or in a surf boat, that's something that can get you across the line. Now, the reason that Chris coming up will hit the beach just in front of Will and Ben and the pack surging is because he milked that runner, even though he dropped off it for the lead. He milked that runner as long as he could, and that's going to give him the buffer. He's already up and running now, and it's going to come into a sprint finish for Will, Ben, and the redhead paddler there. So overall, a really good race by our guys. Not everything is going to go to plan, not everything's going to be perfect, but overall that was fantastic.